Hello and good day to all our viewers out there today. Welcome to another game of the Link to the Past Randomizer League Season 3 Open Playoffs. This is a conference semifinal match between Fromstein, represented by Scarlet, and 16-Bit Nerds, represented by prdwong. The settings are going to be a 7-7 open, defeat Ganon, as this is a Courage match. I'm Zethno, and I'm here with Radical Sniper 99. How are you doing today, Radical?
I'm doing great. Yeah. So this is technically the game 1 settings, but as these are the first 3 games of the series, they can be played in any order. There was already one match in this series. I believe it was Flip Heel versus So in the game 3 power matchup, which is, as we're kind of calling it this season, a pseudo mystery race.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting one. One of the interesting things to note is that prdwong is a late in the season sub and has only actually played one game so far.
Yeah, prdwong's first race of the whole season actually was in the playoffs last week versus Vortex of Doom of We Need a Mentor. So
we got a very fast map check there. I did not quite catch what anything was.
Me neither. I was definitely not prepared for that quick of a check, but we did get some divergence to start with, as prdwong is doing an Uncle start while Scarlet went with the Sank start. And we did get a check of our tier 1 tree pull. Just some fairies.
Yeah, it's really always interesting to see when runners decide to go with a completely different route right off the bat. Oh, boots. Okay.
Nice early find for sure, but at least in a place that will not hurt prdwong either.
Okay, you say that, but we've had races where runners randomly don't check a specific location that really should be checked early. So, I'm gonna say I'll assume prdwong checks it, but there was a race earlier this week where race game wasn't checked until the absolute last minute. But it looks like Purdy will be heading there right now.
Yeah, and Scarlet's going to take those boots and check out Bonk Rocks real quick. I think this is really heads up. I wonder if we're also going to see her check the Lumberjack.
It's a good question. I think it's worth getting the information. She may not feel that way. But just knowing whether Aga is on the table or may be required can be helpful. I guess she's just going to take the gamble and say, hopefully it's not.
And real heads up here, work by Scarlet, understanding the prize packs here, knowing that the guards are part of the bomb prize pack and saying, you know what, I'm going to grind out some extra bombs here.
Yeah, there are a surprising number of bombs that you need in the early game in Light World.
Yeah, getting those 3 is really huge at this point. 3 gets you at least through CAC, and having the boots means you can get race game if needed without a bomb.
Yeah, that's one less bomb, which is very handy. The last thing you want to do is orphan one check here in Kakariko that you're not going to check forever, and your opponent happens to check it. It ends up being something important.
But we're also getting a decent amount of money, so enough money for bottle vendor and even buying some extra bombs in the shop.
Well, that's true.
Oh, we have an Aga Seed guaranteed. That is the hammer on the Lumberjack. Really nice check there from prdwong to check the Lumberjack ledge.
That could cause some problems for Scarlet because she doesn't know it's there.
Yeah, it's really going to come down to how much info we can get early in that regard.
Now, can you imagine if Aga's our Dark World access happens to give us, because it gives us both hammer and a portal?
Yeah, that could be troubling. I mean, the thing is hammer does lock a lot in this game, so there's definitely a good chance. As I say that, though, there's our first glove, and definitely a concern here is if we get Dark World access through the mitts, you got to be concerned that Scarlet could miss out on that hammer for a bit.
For sure. I think if we get the mitts, prdwong gets a decent advantage out of this. getting the ice rod early is nice in the event that we do have to do Turtle Rock. Isn't going to be an ice rod hunt today. A comment from chat. Let's hope Merle is on Pyramid. If Merle is on Pyramid, then this is going to be, very much pushing you towards Aga. And a nice sword for Scarlet.
Yeah, I think what does help in this scenario, at least, is knowing, if Scarlet gets, or when Scarlet gets a lamp and decides to head up Death Mountain, I think there's a good chance she will check out the Lumberjack. That's a good time to route that in as well.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we're going to get a race game check. Nothing there.
Yeah, just a few bombs this time, and Scarlet did purchase that 10-pack from the shop.
Definitely doesn't need any more. That prdwong picking up his gloves. So that's got to be a thought for prdwong, knowing that the hammer is on Aga-ledge about, okay, well, I have gloves, so now what?
Yeah, and prdwong does also have that cape. So in prdwong's mind, this is just a lamp and I can go kill Aga.
Yeah, that's... Scarlet's in a dark room.
Yeah, Scarlet went towards, is going backwards towards Dark Cross, so...
The water really helps in knowing where you are in that room, but getting that key from the rat, from the mouse, is can be a little tricky. Ah, there was a key in the back of Escape, so there was no need to get that extra key.
And just a heart piece in the Dark Cross, so all done there.
It's unfortunately a lot of work for very little reward.
And actually, I do believe Scarlet would have had to still kill that key rat in the dark, because I think both keys do get used in that order, even when going from the back towards Dark Cross.
Well, that's true.
So really nice kill there that we weren't able to see of the rat in the dark.
Yeah, that was so fast I didn't even think she did it, but you're right, she must have, because it is required.
Nice magic drop there on the mini Moldorm.
Well, with Ether, that could mean a little bit of easier rooms, depending on where they have to go. So with that little bit of road divergence, you were... Oh, prdwong doing the dark room check as well. But as you mentioned, that road divergence that we saw right at the starting, it seems like after that first road divergence, Purdy is just following Scarlet through the rest of the map so far.
Yeah, the only real difference here, of course, just is that information that we got about our Lumberjack. Now, I think coming out of Ice Rod Cave here, we might see Scarlet set up for a water walk and possibly head up towards Zora. She does have the money for it already.
Yeah, the water walk will speed it up a little bit, especially with the boots. She can go get Hobo, check Hylia Island very easily, and then head up to Zora pretty quick. Always nice when a seed gives you enough money to do this check right here while you're here.
Yeah, and we didn't point it out earlier, but in that mini Moldorm cave, Scarlet did also get the blue mail, so nice little security early in this seed.
Scarlet will not be going to Hobo.
I do like this route of doing it. I personally prefer it as well. Meanwhile, prdwong checking out the dam. We did not see that on Scarlet's side, as prdwong did find the hook shot in the dam.
Ooh, so Purdy has the hook shot and the cape over Scarlet. Those are both the cape. The cape could be useful because knowing the cape and the sword, prdwong knows that Aga's important and has almost all the tools for Aga. Now, I'm not sure he really wants to do the Dark Aga climb because that's just unfriendly, but...
Yeah, I don't think he would make that kind of early play.
Oh, I agree. As an early play, that's extremely unfortunate, but...
In terms of why Scarlet skipped the dam early, I think this is just a routing decision a lot of runners are starting to come with. Two is that if you have a way to get to the dam or get over to Agina really quick, I think this is a really good time to make an Agina play as well.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Pick up the Sphere 1 location and double check that there isn't anything important hiding there.
Yeah, I think there's just less screen transitions to go directly from Link's house over to Mini Moldorm than to route over to Dam back over to Mini Moldorm.
Well, that's a pretty extreme optimization of time, but this point in the tournament, in the conference semifinals, those optimizations are extremely important.
Well, and I got just proved wrong there. Scarlet instead is going to save and quit, and this might actually be a Death Mountain climb without a lamp.
That is one of the easier dock rooms overall.
Yeah, and I would hope for Scarlet's sake here that she does check Lumberjack Ledge.
Yeah, you're right.
Because this is the closest she's coming to this spot for a while. And she is going.
Yes.
Good.
Okay. Yeah, it's just unfortunate to see a race where someone just lacks that one crucial piece of information. It looks like prdwong is doing some water checks, but going swimming instead. I think he went all the way... Did he not go all the way over? I was looking, he was heading in that direction.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he went all the way over to Ice Rod Cave, because setting up fake flippers, the traditional screen transition way, is very suboptimal if you went all the way to Ice Rod.
Yeah, I'm gonna assume he didn't, but I don't think there was anything important.
Oh! Okay.
He
set up the water walk, but instead used it leaving Hobo instead of leaving Ice Rod. Very creative.
I think that saves about the same amount of time.
Meanwhile, Scarlet getting a bow off of the old man.
Well, that helps. I'm just looking at our crystals, because we were discussing that early map check. Eastern and Desert are pendants.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Scarlet make a play to that eastern area after clearing East Death Mountain, probably.
Yeah, if there's nothing there, it is a location that has quite a few items, especially because I believe neither runner has actually gone to Saha's hut either. So with a significant number of items on that side, there's a lot for them to potentially find. Piece of heart from Zora, very expensive piece of heart from Zora.
And we are once again getting some divergence here. prdwong is heading for, I'm guessing this is going to be a front of escape. Check. Although Scarlet just got the lamp and Quake in Paradox 2. So that means we're going to find a flute relatively soon.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Now I wonder where that could be. Now, if it's in Agina, after we had that whole... Oh, wow, they're in the midst. That's not... Oh, no, Scarlet checked for the hammer. She knows it's there. Wow.
And a mirror. This is really a valuable Death Mountain play. An excellent sequence break, giving her a lot of information about what's out there in the seed and also giving a lot of progression.
Yeah, that could be very huge if prdwong doesn't head up there before going into the Dark World, at least. That mirror is going to help a significant amount of routing optimization.
Now, I think what's going to help make sure that prdwong does not skip that, of course, is the fact that the lamp is up there.
Yeah, should mean that the flute is somewhere soon, because we do know that either the lamp or the flute is required to go up to Death Mountain. So since the lamp is up there, the flute has to be in a logical location before the required Death Mountain checks.
Yeah, I can't imagine prdwong is going to take this and head into a Dark Aga Tower. But prdwong is setting up a Death Warp here.
We'll see. Scarlet looks like she's heading over to Eastern. We'll see where prdwong goes next. Yep.
prdwong is making a hell of a gamble here, I must say. This is really surprising.
He must feel super comfortable with this. If he is comfortable with it and can successfully complete this without any major issues, having the hammer can significantly help. Both as...
Now, Scarlet did just find the mushroom and our flute in Saha's closet and decided not to head into Eastern Palace.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. There are 3 items in Eastern, but depending on how deep those are, those could be pretty deep in the dungeon. Could take a lot of time. And with it being a pendant, it's not a required dungeon to complete. Just wondering... Oh, Scarlet's going to activate that. We're going to have a black screen on prdwong's side for quite a while now.
Yeah, no fire rod, no lamp. We are just getting guided by the sweet, sweet sparkles of a sword.
Down to 3 hearts already. Opting to go with ether strats. Oh, that helps a little bit. We can actually see what's going on.
Yeah, nice use of ether there to help out a little bit. I would say the hard part for prdwong is definitely not this floor, though. It's going to be that second floor.
Yeah, the one with all of the paths with the holes next to them, the big pits, is always my issue, and a lot of things other runners have told me. Scarlet's doing a quick mushroom check here.
Yeah, we also got a sick kid turn in as well.
Why the sick kid has bombs? I have some questions. But it's good we got them out of his house.
Now, Scarlet is focusing on trying to find that, as we do get a map check, 5-6 at Thieves, and we had our green pendant, or not green pendant, we did have a pendant over at Pod.
Ooh.
And Quake for Misery Mire.
Well, that's a dungeon they... Oh, we did get a map. Yeah. Well, it's good that they know they can get into Quake. That's one less item that they need to worry about. But the big thing now will be, what does Turtle Rock require?
Now, prdwong is trying to get through, and unfortunately, taking a death there. Scarlet finding our pearl in Desert Palace.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's the pearl. Okay, well, we have Dark World access. Unfortunately, I think Scarlet's decision to do this portion, to do Death Mountain, and to do this prior to doing Aga is going to significantly help her out. She's going to be going into Aga with the lamp, which is huge for that particular dungeon, but also the Moon Pearl to, after completing it, she'll be able to go into the Dark World and have access to go wherever she wants.
Yeah, prdwong making an early gamble there, not going to pay off, but for Scarlet, this is, keeping a little bit of a level head here and deciding, you know what, I'm going to check as much else as I can before making that Aga play.
I feel like that's that makes sense if you know that you have a bunch of checks that don't need a hammer, that you may need to do or want to do. Okay, I'm saying you need to do or want to do anyway. You may want to do it, but then Scarlet goes into a pendant dungeon just to get to the boss.
Yeah, and I don't believe she checked the big chest. I would have checked big chest first to see if that was my second item, and if I could have gotten the second item without going back to Land Molus. I definitely think that would have been the preferable strategy here.
Every time you or I say something, Scarlet proves us wrong. So, yeah.
That's just the life of the commentator, I believe.
It very much is, but Scarlet's doing her best to make sure that we are incorrect about what's going on here.
But nice use of the ice rod up to that point. Unfortunately, no arrows and no magic left. Is going to have to go with just some sword slashes here. And some bomb strats.
That definitely helps to get a little bit of damage, because you're supposed to fight this with Fighter Sword in the vanilla game, but that's why it makes it a difficult boss. And it's a map.
Yeah, so the last item was left in the big chest, so this was definitely a little bit of a time sink for Scarlet.
On a positive note for her, I think it's a little bit less of a time sink than prdwong going into Aga and dying, so it just brings them a little closer to even, which is good for us because it keeps it closer of a race. prdwong back in a dark room. I think this is Eastern this time, though.
No, this is Death Mountain. prdwong did get the flute and fluted up Death Mountain.
Yep. Okay, then that, yes. That's good for prdwong, though, because it means that he'll be picking up all of these items up here. The bow, the mirror, the mitts.
Scarlet is going to knock out Checkerboard Cave here. I'm hoping Scarlet does not forget about the Mire Shed with this check, because I don't believe she went into Mire Shed yet.
I don't think so either. I was kind of expecting a Super Bunny glitch to go in there, because she had the mirror out, and then she went to Desert instead, which also requires a mirror.
I think with the Super Bunny glitch there, the mirror Super Bunny glitch, I know that's a bit of a... It's not something that a lot of runners don't know. I think it's one of those things a lot of runners just don't do yet. It's not as common as a lot of your other glitches yet.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. But in a race like this, leave Lussie, because now the problem is, I think she might have it in her head that she already did it. And if there's something important in there, that could be an issue.
Yeah, and she did decide to skip out on that one. Or did not remember it, unfortunately.
Well, for her sake, we're going to hope that there's nothing in there. But if you're hoping for prdwong and cheering for him, then you're going to hope that there's something important in there. As he finds the mitts. We're getting a Tower of Hera play, I think, here, which is, I think, a good play. We're going into a crystal dungeon. We're going to have to do it anyway.
Yeah, I think the only part I don't like about this is I would have still gone and done Aga first and been able to do a little bit more with the mountain, or a bit cleaner of a route on Death Mountain.
Yeah, that makes sense, too. She's missing the cape. She hasn't done Uncle yet.
Oh, wow, you're right. That's why she has not prioritized Aga yet.
Yeah, she's unaware that she can actually do it. She's hoping for that sword somewhere, but... yeah.
On the plus side, we have a lot of defense already with the red mail now.
Yeah, red mail and quite a few hearts. Runners are going to be pretty comfortable.
And here we go with our second boss, Moldorm. only on a fighter sword, so not ideal. And the other question here is, will Scarlet get the second item for Tower of Hera?
Yeah, here we go again, going to the boss and hoping it's not on the other ones. I think she doesn't have the big key yet, though.
No, the big key is definitely in her basement for this one.
That's not a great place to go, so she's probably just hoping that she doesn't have to do it. She did have a very clean Hera pot to get up here, so if she has to go down and do it, it's not going to take a significant amount of time to go and make that trek. What's with the bosses having maps? We've defeated 2 bosses, both on Scarlet's side, and both bosses had maps.
Meanwhile, prdwong actually did go for a traditional Super Bunny play on Dark Death Mountain here to check out Super Bunny Cave.
Oh, we're about to find out what Turtle Rock needs, which will be good information for us. I didn't see that.
Yeah, unfortunately, that was a very, very quick look.
I tried to rewatch it on the restream too, and I still missed it twice. That is very impressive on his side that he managed to figure out what that was.
Chat confirming that it is Quake as well, so double Quake.
Well, that's one less item we're going to need to finish this game then. We're starting to look at that actually with how many items we have. We're not looking for all that much. There's about 3 items that we don't know where they are. Like we don't know where the fire rod is. We're gonna need the flippers. And Kina Samaria.
Yeah, besides that, still just a sword, I think, is the only other thing that we really are looking out for here.
Always easy to forget about that sword, because normally by the point that you're getting close to go mode, you have more than one sword.
And Scarlet is really focusing, trying to find this extra sword, because unfortunately, without that cape, even with all the knowledge of knowing where our hammer is, she can't do a lot here.
No, I don't think Scarlet's done escape either.
Yeah, she didn't do front escape either, so I just think that's one of those places, you know, knowing that she got the small key and 3 items, thinking, well, I know that there's a map still, so there's only a couple of items really here now.
Yes, but see, what I'm kind of hoping for there is that because the item is it with Uncle, there's 2 items in Uncle plus the items in Escape that she may end up checking. Purdy's having a pretty good fight here against Mulder on the other side. And down. That brings the crystal count 1-1.
But we are getting some Village of Outcasts, well, in this case, Dark Skull Woods area.
Scarlet going straight to the back, but she doesn't have a fire rod, so she's not going to get very far.
What's going on with that statue?
Yeah,
I swear she was trying to push the statue and it didn't move.
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me too. It was very confused. And it's a compass. Maybe the statue wanted her to look for the fire rod as well.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of runners actually check that middle room first. It's not a terrible idea.
Yeah, that way when you come in here, depending if where you end up, it may be easier to get in and out of the dungeon. Not requiring a save and quit.
Now, prdwong did go for that Super Bunny glitch heading into the shed, and does get a shovel and a heart piece. So not a whole lot missed by Scarlet, but that shovel could make a difference.
Yeah, I think the only way that makes a big difference is if that shovel is locking either one of our 3 last remaining progression items or a fetch quest of some sort towards them. Scarlet still giving us new locations, and prdwong just going along the same route.
Yeah, I think what'll really happen here is when prdwong does get the Moon Pearl, I think that'll kind of signal to prdwong that, hey, maybe I should head into Aga Tower. Hopefully, though, prdwong does go into Desert. So far, skipping it, and usually people going into Agina's Cave decide that is a save and quit point.
Yeah. I don't really know what to say about that. I agree with you, but for the sake of prdwong, I'm really hoping he doesn't do that. Even if he save and quits, he could flute back here. Because they're going to have to use the flute point one way or the other to get into Desert. Oh, nope. Goes all the way back out, grabs the portal. Since he's tracked everything else in this area, I have to assume that this is a Desert play. Okay, he is going into Desert. Meanwhile, Scarlet doing King's Doom.
Yeah, this is definitely a little rough for Scarlet here. Definitely looking for that sword to put Aga in play.
And there's the Moon Pearl. Oop. It's always a bit of an annoying if you're a few pixels off there, the item doesn't come off the torch.
Yeah, you try not to bonk off of it just to set yourself up a little bit quicker to get the item, but sometimes that's just, you know, you're just so close and don't realize how much you miss it by just that centimeter or pixel, as it were.
Yeah. Oh, mirror shield already on Scarlet's side. Not that
Yeah, mirror shield.
Sorry.
Mirror shield luckily has kind of gotten unfortunately had a bad rap for a while, bad reputation for a while. As a lag generator. Luckily, recently it was found it's just shields in general, and mirror shield is not all that much more laggy.
Oh, I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, a lot of people think that it generates more lag. It's that by the time you get the mirror shield, it's just that you have so many hearts that it appears that it has more lag to it. But no, it's just the hearts more so than anything.
Oh, that actually makes a lot of sense. So
Now,
prdwong has found the Moon Pearl, so now what do we see? Scarlet doing things now. I think he might have hit the wrong number there. Yep. Going a little too fast.
prdwong is prioritizing that hammer, knowing that he has the cape, says, I need hammer, let's make routing as clean as possible the rest of this race.
I think that's a good play, especially when you think about, for example, Thieves Town, where Scarlet is right now. If there is a important item in the big chest, she wouldn't be able to check it right now. When prdwong gets over there, and Scarlet, as a result, doesn't go into the back, I think. When prdwong gets over there, he will be able to go straight into the back because he'll know that he has the items to fully complete the dungeon.
Yeah, the fact that prdwong was able to get that cape early is kind of helping save some time here and really just make up for that early mistake of trying to go into a Dark Aga Tower.
Yeah, and that's why when we talk about these races and people are asking who's in the lead and where it is, you never really know until all the items are found, where that one item is going to be in a weird location or not checked by one of the runners.
But yes, for anybody who did not join us earlier, this is we'll call it a game one, but this is the second game of a series between From's Time and 16-Bit Nerds. Currently, 16-Bit Nerds does have a 1-0 lead. the settings for this race, it is an open 7-7 race.
Just getting some bombs from the lunchbox. Nothing important in there.
And yes, Uncle is definitely one of our Sphere 1 or Sphere 0, depending on how you just define the two. The more common parlance, I think, these days is to call it Sphere 1.
Yeah, that's the way I understand it. Sphere 0 is something you would start with, whereas Sphere 1 would be something that you can get when you start the game.
But yeah, the longer that Scarlet does not find a second sword or that cape, you know, just having to continue to not be able to go after that hammer.
Yeah, that could make a big difference. prdwong has very quickly gotten up the tower this time. Much easier when you can actually see, and there's the fire rod on Scarlet's side.
And I think with that, okay, so Scarlet is going to continue on this loop of Dark World, at least get the checks. She'll head back to Skullwoods later.
The thing is, a lot of the dungeons that are remaining need a hammer. Swamp Palace needs a hammer. Thieves Town may or may not need a hammer at the back to get an item. Turtle Rock is going to need one. Ice Palace needs one for at least one item.
And there we go. Master Sword at Stumpy.
Now, I kind of wonder if Scarlet's going to route in Uncle and some of the other escape checks while she's now going to be in the area to do Aga. And if she does and she finds that cape, she's not going to be particularly happy with that situation, I think.
Yeah, that's going to be an unfortunate moment. I think she is pretty much even with prdwong at this point, if not still a little bit ahead. But definitely one of those moments where you're going to feel behind going, I could have had this check a lot earlier.
That was a very quick Aga fight on prdwong's side.
Oop. Unfortunately, prdwong forgetting to check our pyramid ledge real quick, but we're still going to get that. And just some arrows.
You can see the moment he dropped down, I think he figured out he went one ledge too far.
And this is going to be a really heads-up play from prdwong here, going into check out possibly Quakefish, but routing this direction, having the mirror already, it's going to be really easy to check out Quakefish, Graveyard. Yep, and there we go. Scarlet expressing clear displeasure at that cape find.
Yeah, so see, now she realizes that she had access to do Aga a very long time ago. And knowing that if she had done it earlier, when she was in Thieves Town, she could have already completed it. Thankfully, Thieves Town is not a dungeon that you spend a lot of time getting back into after you've done the front 4 checks, but it could be something that still wastes a little bit of time. Nothing from Catfish.
So we are going to see a bit of our runners kind of backtrack over each other's steps as prdwong will be heading towards that hammer pickup and hitting some of the Village of Outcasts and other West Dark World checks while Scarlet goes through Aga Tower.
Yeah, there's unfortunately not too much for us to see because Scarlet is going to get locked by that hammer and Purdy is going to do all these. It makes a lot of sense to do these overrule checks at this point.
You know, on the plus side, our runners will have the ability to clear a couple extra crystals at this point. Actually, one of the things is we'd actually have full ability to get both of our 5-6 crystals.
Yeah, we do. That is something Scarlet could have done while she was in there, but she opted to wait. I think mostly because she wanted to wait for that hammer, because doing the entire back twice is quite a time sink.
Yeah, if Scarlet didn't know where that hammer was, I think there's a chance she, might have gambled on Thieves Town. But given that we don't know, that she knew where hammer was, I would definitely agree with that decision.
Yep. But she's going to be going into this fight now with Aga. prdwong just going to go pick up that hammer. As to a question in chat, yes, Aga is going to be required for East Dark World access, because Aga will give us direct East Dark World access as well as giving us hammer, which will give us East Dark World access.
Yeah, we had East Dark World access through the myths as well, so not necessarily required for this. This whole Aga play is solely for access to that hammer on Lumberjack, so... And prdwong is definitely saving some time here, deciding to forego the Skull Woods checks, instead saying, I'm going to do my Village of Outcasts and probably Thieves Town.
For East Dark World access with the myths, which portal are you talking about? Because I can't come up with which.
It's a very slow process. You'd actually head through Cack Village, and then have to route south. Oh, you're right. Sorry, in this case, we don't have full access because we don't even have flippers.
Yeah,
my bad.
There is a you can do the out of logic water walk from Skull Woods, but that's even longer.
Yeah, either that or a Kern jump even.
Yeah, that's that one too. But those would be out of logic. Yeah, that's where okay. See, I wonder where those flippers are, because they are going to be required for Swamp Palace. I don't think we picked up anything important from the water checks where our runners fake flippered, so it would mean that the only thing I think it's really important for is getting into Swamp.
Yeah, I think we did see all of our water checks between our two runners. I know prdwong did Hobo. I think Scarlet skipped the Hobo check. But we did see the Zora waterfall and all of Zora area.
So, and this is the difference I was talking about earlier. I believe prdwong, after checking these two items, will likely head straight to the back with having the hammer.
Yeah, and the good thing for prdwong here is he'll actually be able to route over to Hype Cave and end at Big Bomb Shop.
Yeah.
So if prdwong does want to check out the Pyramid Ferry, he will have easy routing access to that. For Scarlet, she'll have to definitely, not that it's a bad route to it, just will have to do a little bit extra to make that choice.
The big thing for prdwong as well is going to be finding that additional sword eventually. The Master Sword really does help over the fighter, especially when trying to traverse the Dark World.
Yeah, luckily, that Master Sword being on Stumpy, I have to imagine, that is easily in the path he's going to take. And we'll also get to see that shovel check.
Yeah, if that shovel turns up flippers, that could be very bad for Scarlet. A bottle in the back of Thieves Town, but I don't think we've seen anything else of any real import.
Yeah, that was our first new check out of Thieves Town.
Yeah. I forget how long it is sometimes between the checks in the back of Thieves Town.
Yeah, Thieves Town isn't always a quick dungeon, unfortunately.
No, unless you're an Randomizer where you don't have to do the whole maiden quest, but otherwise, yes.
Yeah, luckily if you're in Go mode, that's a thought, but not always a very common occurrence.
No, especially considering this dungeon really doesn't require anything to actually complete. They're the flippers.
So that means Swamp Palace is also in logic. So there's going to be a very distinct, clear-cut route here through the seed.
Yeah.
And our powder.
Yeah. Thieves Town being very kind with all of this. Scarlet coming into this dungeon as well, actually, at the moment, so she's going to find all of these things soon.
Yeah, and that decision to not head into the back of Thieves Town without Hammer will pay off. At least from the standpoint of finding powder, we don't know if it's actually going to lead to progression, but it is at least something she will not miss.
Whether or not it leads to progression, it is also just a very nice item to have. It is a nice safety going through a lot of these dungeons, just to be able to regain some health on the anti-fairies and bunny beams. Meanwhile, prdwong is in the boss fight.
Yep, nice easy blind fight here. Looks like, yep, perfectly on script for prdwong. No surprises there with the caliber of runners we've got here in this race. And there's our last item with a 20.
Okay, that brings prdwong up to his second crystal, and Scarlet is not long behind.
Interestingly enough, that means all of our items for Thieves Town were actually in the back.
Well, sometimes Thieves Town can be kind, and sometimes it does that. So at this point, it looks like we're in a hunt for the Cane of Samaria.
Yeah, we are really one item away from Go mode here. Shocking occurrence.
I'm going to assume that these runners at this point are comfortable with Master Sword serverless if they really have to. I'm sure they would continue checking anything along the way in the hopes of finding something better.
Definitely. There's a lot of checks our runners can make throughout to make their lives more comfortable, but it's definitely not something that they're going to have to prioritize. If they find Cane of Samaria soon, expect to see left side swamp skipped and a lot of others like that.
Yeah, the only thing on prdwong's side is that he has not found his second sword yet, which will be more important, as well as the fire rod. The fire rod should come up very soon because it is on digging game, and he's in the area.
Yeah, I think the only concern here for prdwong on that is, will prdwong grab that purple chest heading out? Hey, we got a sword on the bat. So that means prdwong will likely get Tempered Sword very soon. As we are getting another blind fight from Scarlet. Also, so far, yep, very much on script.
Oh, so prdwong does pick up the purple chest. I do believe it was just bombs in there, so...
Yeah, the unfortunate... The bigger issue here, of course, is that prdwong cannot do dig game right now with that purple chest in tow.
Oh, yeah.
Because you cannot have a follower for dig game. That's why you traditionally see runners grab dig game and then head to grab the smith.
Yeah, no. prdwong, go back.
And unfortunately, prdwong cannot head back there until after ditching the chest.
Yeah. Oh, doing the Stumpy check. This is also an important one.
Yeah, and also going to get that shovel check. So this is the other element that we've kind of been waiting on.
Is it Samaria? It is not. Yeah, as being mentioned by, Oh!
Realized he forgot to check Stumpy there. Okay.
Oh, that's where the sword was. Okay.
I was like, oh yeah.
Fire Rod was on Digging Game. That's so much worse. I thought it was a sword.
Yeah, and
I mixed the two up.
unfortunately, I can't see prdwong going back to Village of Outcasts in Skull Woods without that Fire Rod right now.
No.
The bigger issue here is, will we see prdwong make a play into Eastern and Pod, which could really have nothing in this race?
Yeah, this is bad for prdwong. He got a pretty good advantage out of the fact that Scarlet hadn't checked Uncle, which made up for his Aga play. So it's been a back and forth seed. If Purdy goes back to Digging Game now, he's got a really good shot of kind of finishing this all up.
Yeah, and this is really going to come down to, you know, what does Scarlet find here in the back of Skull Woods, and what does prdwong find in a Swamp Palace, which I guess is where he's going to head next.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense with where he is and the items he has. That's definitely something I think we may need to ask about at the end. But outside of that fire rod, we were mentioning the Cane of Samaria is really only in one location. Or, sorry, the only item we need, not only one location. So it'll kind of be interesting. There's a lot of dungeons it can be in. We know it's not on Meyer Boss, and we know it's not in Turtle Rock, but it could be pretty much anywhere else in the seed, I believe.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. You know, each of our runners, you know, getting some good plays here or there, but also making some uncharacteristic mistakes in terms of their routing. So I'm sure both of them are kind of feeling a little bit off in terms of what they've done so far.
Nice early big key in Swamp Palace. That can definitely help so that you can just check the big key while you're here along the way.
Yeah, as chat's pointing out, you know, at least Ice Palace is currently not in logic for prdwong. Finding Bombos here in Swamp could be very, very bad for prdwong for sure.
I mean, yes, it definitely pushes him into a dungeon that pushes him away from it, but it is a dungeon he'll need to complete anyways. Unfortunately, he'll just do a few more checks. Without the Cane of Samaria, it's quite a bit longer, though.
Yeah. To answer the question in chat, this is game 2 out of a best of 5 series right now in the Open League playoffs. These, of course, is a team setting, so this is our Courage Pendant matchup between 16-bit nerds and Fromps Time. I don't know if the third game of the opening set is currently scheduled.
It's not currently on the schedule. I was taking a look at that earlier.
So yes, these are best of 5 series. The first 3 games are kind of set in stone. Oh,
it is.
Tomorrow at, what is that, 6 p.m.? Sorry.
6:10. Yeah, 6 p.m. It wasn't there when I looked earlier, but I think, but it is there. prdwong is doing the fun setup for Diver Down, getting it first try. But yes.
So yeah, game 1. This is the game. Or the Courage Pendant players play an open seed. Our game 2 or Wisdom players will play a casual boots, and our power players will do what we will call a pseudo mystery, where between themselves and Sahabot, they will actually pick the 6 mode settings for the game, and then repeat that for a game 4 and 5 if necessary. Now, prdwong is coming in on our Argus fight. With that tempered sword, this Argus will go down quite quickly.
Pretty clean fight. Unfortunately, no silver is going to have to do this the spin way. Still pretty fast with Tempered Sword. I think it's 2, right?
Yeah, the other option there, of course, was to go with Ice Rod. Oh no, and there's the Bombos medallion on Argus. This could really hurt prdwong if he decides to dip into Ice Palace. And yes, what our teams in the Open League are playing for. So this is our conference semifinals. The 4 teams to make it out of conference semifinals and make our conference finals are guaranteed an invite into next year's Invitational League.
It makes these games important and could explain a little bit of why some of these small routing decisions and that have been going on where the runners may have that on their mind, something they're thinking about.
And here we go, prdwong heading into Ice Palace. Unfortunately, you know, I spoke it into existence and it happened.
This will kill a little bit of time. I'm not sure it'll kill too much as long as prdwong does go back to race game after this. He needs to complete this dungeon. The only thing is that he's actually going to check all of the chests. But if Canis Mario's in here, or if Scarlet comes in here next anyways, the only time difference is really going to be using Bombos over Fire Rod.
Yeah, the big issue here is if the Canis Mario is in here, I think we expect to see prdwong head to Mire and possibly have to full clear Mire looking for things.
That would be unfortunate, yes. That would be a significant waste of time.
Yeah, unfortunately for prdwong, there's just going to be no incentive to head back to Dig Game.
Yeah, and even if you think about it logically and think about where the locations are and what you can check and how many checks there are, it's such a low density check. How often are you really going to try to check that at this point?
Yeah, chat bringing up, you know, there's still some things that book could help bring prdwong back over to Village, maybe a pedestal check, but I just don't see it as being a huge pull. There's just so much density in the rest of the game right now. You know, the big thing that we mentioned a little bit ago, Pod and Eastern.
Yeah, going into Potter Eastern on Purdy's side is going to be a giant time waste either way, unless Canis Samaria's in there and Scarlet has to go in as well. Speaking of Chad and Samaria, Chad, if for the people that are in chat, feel free to give us a guess. Where do you think that this Canis Samaria could be? Scarlet going with the Fire Rod strats on Argus instead of the spins. Gets it with the spins anyways. Nice quick kill.
Yeah, a couple of Fire Rod shots and then one spin off that Tempered Sword. Really great quick kill strategy.
We got one guess from somebody in chat with Vanilla, Samaria, and Meyer. That would be a location for sure. I don't think that's something the runners are gonna hope for.
I was gonna say somewhere in Ice Palace is always a funny location.
Oh, getting it in that chest right after where you can Icebreaker too is always extremely annoying. You get all the way to the end and then find out, well, this is what I actually needed to get into this room.
And Scarlet remembering that she did forget to check out the Mire shed earlier. Probably not happy to see that shovel on top of that skip.
Fortunately for her, if she goes to check that shovel, she will find out it's nothing. She will have to go a little bit out of her way to check it.
And Scarlet is going to be following foot into Ice Palace. This is the right play, I think, from her perspective. It's a crystal. You can full clear it. So definitely the place to go.
Yeah. This also does mean that prdwong coming in here is not going to be any significant time wasted in comparison to Scarlet. Just takes a little bit longer for the Bombos cast compared to using Fire Rod.
And realistically, you know, depending on the magic situation, Scarlet might have to cast Bombos as well to break that shell of Cold Stare.
Yeah, with neither of them having half magic, it is generally a safer way to do it because the Fire Rod will require your entire magic bar. Ooh, prdwong getting it. Nice, getting closer nicely into the corner. Unfortunately, no Fire Rod to do the extremely quick kill in the corner there.
But still a well-executed kill there to finish it off.
Very much so.
And the important piece of information here is our Ice Palace clear was Samaria locked. So that Cane of Samaria is somewhere available to our runners right now.
Why was it Samaria locked?
Technically, if there is a key on Cold Stare, the game would have expected you to have the Cane of Samaria to finish that dungeon.
I see.
Yeah, key logic in Ice Palace is not something you really think too much about, but it is an important factor.
In the end, I think that does make sense anyways. I think the runners have pretty much access to anything in the world that is not Samaria locked at this point. I can't think of something that they don't have access to. If we take both runners' items into account.
True.
And actually, just Scarlet's inventory on her own. I think she has everything except Samaria in her inventory. Samaria and Silvers are the only two things missing.
Yeah, and prdwong now heading into Palace of Darkness. I think from his perspective, this is the play. If I was in Scarlet's shoes at this point, I might prioritize a Pyramid Fairy check and possibly even Bombo's Tablet.
Oh no. prdwong is in pod.
I have heard good things about Pendant Palace of Darkness, but in this case, we don't know how much, you know, if this is going to be a good time sink. And realistically, even if prdwong does find Cane of Samaria early, I wouldn't be surprised to see prdwong continue looking for the Fire Rod here.
Yeah.
To answer the question in chat, Fire Rod is in the is at Dig Game. Unfortunately, when prdwong passed by Dig Game, he had the purple chest, and if you have a follower, you cannot do Dig Game.
Yeah. That's going to be the big question is when does prdwong get back there? And at the moment, we're just seeing him move farther and farther away from where he needs to go. With the information he has, I feel like the plays he's making are good.
Yeah, this is just the danger of last locationing something.
Yeah, isolating that one check can really hurt if that one check is something important.
Meanwhile, prdwong setting up for the Hammer Yump here in the Palace of Darkness. Definitely not as valuable as a strategy when you have the mirror for this dungeon and it's not key sanity, but always a nice showing of the technical skills of our runners.
Yeah, I think the roading is slightly faster this way as well. Not by any significant amount, but a little bit.
Yeah, it really comes down to how quickly you can set up that yump.
Still not finding the Canis Samaria. The next question is going to also be, where does Scarlet go? After this fast fight.
Really
Scarlet...
really nice fight there on Cold Stare for Scarlet's side.
Yeah, extremely good. Didn't even pull up the fire rod. Got the quick kill in the corner with the temperate sword.
So where is Scarlet off to at this point? Making a decision. Looks like this might be that Pyramid Fairy play.
Taking a second, looking at the map, probably looking at the tracker to see what items she has. Trying to figure out where she wants to go with this. The problem is, nothing is really obvious now. She cannot complete another dungeon until she finds that Canis Samaria. Or Crystal dungeon, at least.
Yeah, Crystal Dungeon-wise, I mean, you could dip Mire, but Mire without Kane always feels a little gross at times. Or at least I don't like that kind of play. It's a tough one to want to make.
I agree, it's a tough call. Eventually, sometimes you make it and you find Samaria in there. But you're going in knowing that you won't be able to complete the dungeon, and that never feels good. So not Pyramid Fairy, it looks like. Scarlet's out here with the mirror.
Yeah, with only 2 items on Misery Mire, it's a gamble and it's not a very dense check. But yeah, this is definitely the right play. Getting that big bomb and using the one of the few benefits of getting that Aga kill is using the front gate of Hyrule Castle to get back into Dark World instead of having to route all the way around.
Yeah. It's one of the things you have to remember when you've killed Aga, because in most seeds, our runners aren't going to kill Aga. Meanwhile, prdwong has picked up the green pendant from Helmasaur. I wonder if that'll be a turn-in. Looks like. Nope. Just gonna go straight into Eastern. I think at this point, prdwong's best hope is that the Canis Samaria is sitting on pedestal. Ooh,
Nice tap. Yeah. And Scarlet is going to make that play into Mire, it looks like. So in Scarlet's case, I think this is a little bit smarter of a move. Knowing that she is 1 item from Go mode, saying, let's just believe it is there. I can see why prdwong won't make that gamble, given that he is still 2 items from Go mode. But on Scarlet's side, this is, logically, this is not the worst play you could make.
No, Scarlet's kind of stuck in a situation where she has nowhere good to go. So what do you do, right?
Yeah,
Where do you go from there?
we'll find out if prdwong's gonna find that cane soon. You know, has found one item out of Eastern Palace. I believe I don't know if we've seen a second one. And we still see that green pendant soon as well. We did find 2 items according to chat. Thank you.
Always there to help. Chat.
Yeah, turn away for a second, you miss a chest, you see a compass, and you're like, oh, that wasn't an item.
Yeah, there's 2 screens and there's 2 of us, but once in a while we end up looking at
And
the same screen and there's Samaria.
And that is go mode at 1 hour, 9 minutes, and 45 seconds for Scarlet.
That is super bad for prdwong. Not only was he not the one to find Cane of Samaria, but he still has not found Fire Rod.
So yes, we have what you would call in the business, a French vanilla Cane of Samaria.
Yep, Ben in chat did call it. I did ask chat if they wanted to put any guesses into where the cane was. He did say that he thought it would be in Mire.
The one thing that prdwong did get out of Eastern Palace was the Butter Sword. Unfortunately, not really going to be a huge help. Meanwhile, Scarlet finding that big key to Mire on that arena chest. So not a terrible Mire setup here for her. She is heading straight back to her Vitreous fight.
It is also being pointed out by chat that prdwong did find half magic, but it's something very nice to have, but it's a convenience item. At this point, he needs those 2 items. prdwong is heading in the right direction. Oh no, he's gonna go check Skull Woods, isn't he?
At least this puts him in the neighborhood of Dig Game. So reasonable enough to believe he could head down to Dig Game.
Yeah, the only problem is at this point, even after he does that, he has to head back up, finish Skull Woods, and then catch up into Mire.
Yeah, this is definitely quite a building lead here for Scarlet. And she is really executing through the back of Misery Mire here, pulling off Spooky Glitch to get through these rooms. And with Tempered Sword, this will be a very easy fight.
It's always a fun glitch to watch. The first time you see it, you have absolutely no idea what's happening.
And this is a nice little exploit of Cape Magic. As you continually slash that sword while using Cape, the magic drains very slowly.
Got the arrow kill here. No silvers, but with the Tempered Sword, I have no doubt that Scarlet will have no problem with Ganon.
You're getting, the ped check.
It can't be anything important, but
10 arrows.
That's not helpful at all. I mean, the only important thing that could have potentially been on ped at this point is silvers.
Yeah, and unfortunately, even that would not really make up the time on prdwong's side.
Oh, yeah, not a chance. In his mind, he was hoping for the Fire Rod or Cane of Samaria to be on there. Scarlet is on her way up to Turtle Rock.
Yeah, for her 7th crystal, so really making great progress here.
So as you mentioned before, going into Mire without the Cane of Samaria just feels awful, but sometimes it pays off.
Yeah, and really, you know, as we mentioned at the beginning of this race, it kind of was an open boot seed. We had really early boots. We did have to go for that Aga kill for our hammer, but other than that, it's, you know, seed has been pretty straightforward most of the time. Only a couple of gambles here or there really needed to be made.
Yeah, I definitely think that Cane of Samaria location was one of them. Was that race-ending one. Even in the event that prdwong had the fire rod at that point, it would have really come down to which runner made that gamble first, which runner decided to go into Mire without Samario.
Unfortunately, prdwong did get a little bit blocked by those dead rocks. I believe prdwong is heading for Hookshot Cave here. Had checked Super Bunny previously, but did not have Moon Pearl and Hookshot on his first trip up Dark Death Mountain. And this could also become an Ether Tablet check.
That is one of the downsides of coming up here as Bunny. You end up leaving some checks, and then you end up having to do this entire climb. And you can see with how long it's taking him, this is a very long check to have to make.
Yeah, unfortunately, the dead rocks are not cooperating today.
Do they normally cooperate with you?
I climbed Dark Death Mountain for a reason.
Yeah. I never have any luck with them. They're annoying. I guess he's just opening.
Yeah, this is definitely a good way to do this. Knew he was going to climb for Hookshot Cave. Let's open up Turtle Rock while we're here.
Scarlet getting through the chain chomp room pretty well. This is a very annoying room for a lot of runners, especially new runners.
Yeah, luckily our runners do have red mail, so not as much danger this time.
Even with red, though, if you're unfamiliar with that room, you can take a lot of damage very quickly from those chain chomps. Yeah, looks like you're right. prdwong's gonna merge this with an Ether Tablet check. For a second, I was gonna talk about Hera, but he's already completed it. Scarlet performing very well.
And unfortunately, prdwong is heading back into Tower of Hera, so both of our runners did skip that basement check earlier to get that big key and eventually check big chest, which we do know has an item.
Oh no, this is a long check. There's a reason this room is nicknamed Coffee Break Room.
And that's a great find over on Scarlet's side, getting a key in the Crystal Roller Room. She will be able to skip Laser Bridge completely.
It's going to make the rest of this dungeon extremely quick. prdwong going to pick up the big key now that all the tiles are gone. With Scarlet getting very close to the end of this dungeon, I'm going to bring up being very close to GT. I'm going to bring up the little game that we like to play at the end of these seeds that aren't key sanities. It is the big key guessing game. We'll be starting the bot right after this fight. There are 22 checks in Ganon's Tower. We're going to be guessing where you think the big key will be. All you'll have to do is type the number that you think it'll be.
And we did get I just have to point this out. Turns out Scarlet has for her heart beep is double speed.
Oh, double! Wow, that's I like it on half.
Yeah, I think a lot of our runners definitely prefer half speed, but there is a select group who says double speed is the way to go.
It'll definitely remind you that you're at low health.
But nice Trinex kill there on Scarlet's side, so we will be getting that big key guessing game started here. Remember, 1 to 22, all locations are possible.
So what's your normal guess? What's your number?
My normal way is I do hope, then go left, and I have found 7 to be my kind of number, but we'll see what happens. How about yourself?
My normal guess is 8.
And if you do that, what is your normal route to get there?
Yeah, well, Hope Room into left, generally, is so it'll end up being that fire spinner room.
Yes, the fire bar room is always an interesting one. Always feels bad with a lot of common logic saying you do maybe into the Stalfos room and then go full right, only to find that it was in the fire bar room.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely, unless... Okay, I'm just tracking this to see where we are on the stream. We will be closing once. Okay, that's it. I dropped my guess in there at the end too, just once everyone else had a chance. But yeah, we'll see. That's 1 and 2.
Yeah, 2 small keys there. So Scarlet is going to continue on to the right side here. Very common play to make.
Yeah, that's definitely, if you get the small key there, then going full right is definitely a good way to go. Gets these 4 tracks and make sure you don't strand them here to have to come all the way back.
Meanwhile, prdwong has checked Pyramid Fairy, also finding out that it was just a couple of 20 rupee sets. Unfortunately, where prdwong does have to go into Misery Mire and Dig Game.
Yeah, those are just... Hey, it's going into Mire, I think.
Yep, that is going to be the play.
That was 3, 4, 5, and 6. I didn't actually catch what they were, but I'm going to assume it wasn't the big key because Scarlet is still going.
And nothing of import because I don't see silver arrows either.
7 is a key.
Nine is our bug net, however.
10, 11. Well, that gets rid of most of our guesses. Most guesses were under that. This is 12. This is going to be 12. Matt. Ooh. Oops. Scarlet's gonna have to redo that room.
Yeah, that's one of those boomerang hookshot maneuvers I myself still need to work on, but always love seeing it work out.
Yeah, the blue is you gotta time that very closely. Okay, so 13 will be in this room. Nope. prdwong has found the K. Probably very unhappy.
Unfortunately, I think for prdwong, that might lead him up into Turtle Rock to try and do stuff there. As I believe at this point, prdwong might not realize he didn't do Dig Game.
Gone through 17 checks, mostly rupees in Randomizer. But yeah, prdwong, even if he realizes he hasn't done it, it's one of those things of there's one item, so you're going to go all the way back there for one item. It's going to be a huge time sink, right? It's hard to make that choice.
Nice rail clip there in Mire, however, from prdwong to get over to this right side to check the rest of Misery Mire. We did not see these checks.
So Bob's chest right... Oh, we don't see Bob though, but Bob's chest will be 18. Sorry, Bob, not today. It's the nickname for specific any fairy that shows up there. If certain conditions... It's something to do with the torch. I forget if you have to or not. It's you don't pick up the torch, I think. Right?
Yeah, if you don't bonk that torch, that sprite will become the glitched version of the anti-fairy. Unfortunately, that last Ice Armos is bullying Scarlet here.
So here we go. 19. 20. 21.
21 bailing us out of having to do tile room today.
Ben guessed 22. It was close. And gets points from being the closest. Congratulations.
Ben is cleaning up tonight, it appears, between guessing where our Cane of Samaria was and our being closest to our big key.
So, you want to... Ben, you seem to know where everything is. You want to tell us where those silver arrows were? But Gannon will give us a hint as to where they are. So unofficially, if anybody who's in chat wants to guess at where you think they might have been, take a guess, and we'll see when Scarlet walks in again.
We did see the big chest in Desert Palace. Both Scarlet and prdwong checked it. prdwong checked it before killing Landmo and thus did not go for the kill while Scarlet went back for it.
Scarlet making very quick work of these rooms. Going to be heading over to Landmo too.
Finishing up our second Landmolus fight. Yeah, I think the only locations we really have left at this point for those silvers is either the top of GT or somewhere deep in TR at Laser Bridge.
Yeah, there's really very few locations these runners haven't checked. They've really done almost everything here. Even if you just look at Scarlet's crystals and items and everything, the only dungeons not completed are Eastern and Pod. We've seen prdwong get all the way through Pod, and prdwong dipped Eastern, I believe, as well.
Yeah, prdwong, I believe, did find all 3 items out of Eastern Palace.
So it's not in a dungeon, unless it's GT. What if it's Tile Room?
I was going to say, what about a GT big chest? That's always a fun one.
Ah, could be that too. The chest you never see unless it's Key Sanity.
Yeah, I think at this point we're down to either big chest, tile room, top of GT, or Laser Bridge, or even Lava Island.
Scarlet is skipping some chests on the way up here, though, skipping the mini Helma checks, so it could be up here at the top as well.
And unfortunately, this is a really rough key layout for prdwong. We didn't really notice it earlier with Scarlet, but prdwong has found small keys in both the left side and chain chomp chests, and is thus able to continue deeper and deeper into Turtle Rock.
Yeah, I think we got it. We have to assume almost that out of the checks that are remaining, most of them are in GT, so Gannon will probably tell us that it's in his tower.
Well, it wasn't the lava island. We find out that is only 10 bombs, but prdwong will check Mimic Cave. You know, was able to get this far into Turtle Rock.
Okay, we've got the Aga 2 fight coming up.
Unfortunately, these agonometry lessons not going so well here, and getting further and further out of sync. But luckily, able to get that last ball onto Aghanim to now put us into the fight with the Big Pig.
Aga falling out of sync is always a pain when you're running. It makes aiming and getting those last few hits much harder than it feels it should be. Okay, so with Tempered Sword going in, it's going to be 12 slashes on phase 1, 12 slashes on phase 2. And then we'll see how many teleports Ganon gives us today. Will he be kind, or will he not stop moving?
Meanwhile, prdwong is back into Dark Worlds. Is this a play back over to Dig Game?
Oh, I can only nope. I was gonna say I can only hope so, but nope. Bombos tablet.
Yeah, it looks like it's Bombos tablet instead. Unfortunately, I don't know if you know, prdwong's gonna check Dig Game next, but I think that's all he has left.
Did you find the arrows in my tower? So they were either one of those mini Helmasaur checks that Scarlet skipped, or it was in Tile Room.
And Scarlet is setting up for triples here on out with that Fire Rod. Always a really, really nice execution thing to see here.
Definitely, especially without the half magic.
Yeah, you really have to have confidence in your ability to hit these triples or at least doubles consistently if you're going to go with the Fire Rod.
Yeah, chat reminding me you could have also been in Ganon's big chest. We discussed that, but it's always the chest that I forget because nobody ever checks it. Even when I'm playing, I always forget that chest exists. Okay, and Scarlet gets Ganon down. Get your GGs in chat for Scarlet.
And as we're seeing that, it looks like prdwong will be entering go mode momentarily. But Scarlet does cross that 1x3 bridge to finish this race in first place with an official race time of 1:32.23. Once again, get those GGs in as prdwong enters go mode about the same moment and expressing a lot of annoyance with the location of that Fire Rod.
Yeah, and in that moment, also likely seeing the finish from Scarlet. I know that he did pause for a second.
Yeah, definitely a lot of frustration for that.
But yeah, those... Talking about Silverless Ganon, Scarlet did a very clean Silverless Ganon fight. Getting those triples looks like it should be very easy, and it's really just not.
Yeah, you really have to understand the, you know, setting up your spin before you fire off that Fire Rod shot, and then being able to, you know, get in range before Ganon teleports out of that freeze frame.
It needs a little bit of Ganon cooperation. It's also knowing when not just to skip around and wait for the next location. But is being mentioned in chat. That actually goes for a lot of this game. It looks really easy when you watch these runners, especially runners of this caliber. Everything looks really easy, and then you try to do some of this stuff yourself, and it is way harder than you thought it was. Ooh. prdwong having a bit of issues with the torches, but gets through it. And we have Scarlet, I think, in chat with us, in text chat. I did see that she would be unable to join for the interview, but GG's. Is there anything you want to kind of say? You can let us know in chat if there's any comments you want to make about the seed or anything you thought.
Meanwhile, prdwong does take down Moth for his 6th crystal. Now just has to head back up Death Mountain to take down Trinex.
Oh, yes, because he went all the way through it. I was wondering, for a second I was thinking, he already went through that entire dungeon. He was still looking for that fire rod. That would have been a really rude kind of seed, putting Fire Rod in Turtle Rock and Cane of Samaria in Misery Mire. So Scarlet saying that she felt the seed was really okay. Oh, she mistook desert for a 5/6 crystal. That explains the whole desert play in the way that it happened. But that worked out because of what was in there.
Yeah, I think the other thing we really noticed, the only other thing that seemed to frustrate a little bit was finding that cape on Uncle. We did see you left a little present for him.
Yeah, prdwong started with Uncle right off the bat, so we knew where that cape was from the starting, and we knew you were looking for some sort of Aga access. Yeah, we were kind of assuming that you were trying to lump the rest of the Hyrule Castle checks in with Aga once you got access, but we weren't sure if that was the thought process or if there was something else. Meanwhile, prdwong entering Turtle Rock would be skipping the normal route because everything's already been checked.
Did prdwong go back to the right side?
I don't know. I think he skipped the... Yeah, he figured it out. He forgot to do the Fire Rod chest. And I think they have a key.
Yeah, the only other thing that I think was a surprising skip on your side, Scarlet, was not checking out Mire Shed right after you got that pearl. Luckily, Shovel did not lead to anything this time out of Mire Shed, but it definitely seemed a little bit in the moment, kind of forgetting about it.
Yeah.
And I'm not surprised. That definitely happens to a lot of runners when they get surprise pearl in desert. I'll be honest, I've done the same in a race, so I feel you there.
Yeah, I think it is something that's easy to kind of accidentally forget, especially when you've already gone in there, you get that Moon Pearl in desert. With the way you're positioned, you kind of go, oh, I would have checked Mire Shed before doing desert, so that's done. I'm not in bunny form, I'll just keep going. And then realize much later that you hadn't checked it. This is one of those times where we can even talk about Turtle Rock itself, and this is the reason people don't like double dipping here or going in here until they have the items to finish it. prdwong is going through this not looking for a single item, and it still takes a very long time. He's executing it well.
Yeah, unfortunately, Turtle Rock. Yeah, in go mode or not, this is a very go mode or not go mode. The dungeon almost goes the same way every time.
Actually, something to bring up with the Scarlet's finish too. This does bring the series to 1-1, which will be forcing a fourth game for this series at minimum.
Yes, we are guaranteed a game 4. Obviously, we still need the third game to be played. But both our teams do know now that they will be playing at least one extra game. And then I'm not sure exactly in terms of the ranking for this. Is Fromp's Time the higher seed in this set?
I'm actually not sure.
Okay, so getting confirmation, Fromp's is the higher seed, so that does mean for Game 4, 16-bit nerds will be getting 2 picks in terms of the settings for the game.
For Game 4, I believe the lower seed gets it.
Yeah, and 16-bit is the lower seed.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Okay. Yes. But for all of you watching this that aren't part of these teams, it does just mean more Link to the Past action for you guys to watch.
Yeah, we've still got a couple of rounds left in the playoffs, but we are not done yet. Our conference semifinals.
And here comes the Trinex fight.
To answer in chat, after this race tonight, I don't believe there are any more races for today in terms of the Link to the Past Randomizer League. But we will definitely be going over the coming schedule for the next few days.
Yeah, this along with a simultaneous race on another channel were the final games of the night.
But, big shout outs to prdwong, still working to finish out this seed. I am sure it can be quite frustrating, to last locate that fire rod.
Yeah, and finding it after finding Kinesamaria and Meyer would be aggravating. But on a positive note, prdwong going into GT. I'm going to assume it's probably prdwong will probably take the same route, resulting in a very similar final count.
Yeah, that wouldn't be too surprising at this point.
You find 2 keys in here. A lot of people are gonna keep going right. Yep. Okay, prdwong keeps going right. So yeah, it'll be between 19 and 21 for the final count for him as well.
Yeah, I think the only thing that would really change that is if prdwong decides to go full right, but you don't see a lot of runners do that.
Yeah. That just puts you in ice armors really early, which is not particularly fun if you don't have to do it. Yep, mirroring.
Yeah, very traditional routing for GT basement.
So very reasonable plays. Both our runners today have done some pretty good plays. Played very well. Do give the runners a follow.
Yeah, it's definitely can be quite stressful at times to, run for a lot of people. So big shout outs to them for being, available to restream and, putting on a great show tonight.
prdwong using a different strat, using the Cane of Samaria. That is a much easier way to do it than the boomerang.
Yeah, that's the way I pretty much would do it at this point. I've started to work on learning the boomerang strats, but I definitely also feel comfortable with Samaria. Also, shout outs to the rest of the team working to bring you this race tonight. Of course, big shout outs to our tracker, Yoinker's wife, and Jinxie Girl. Always a lot of work goes into tracking. And of course, my co-comp, Zethno.
And of course for Radical Sniper for doing who's doing all of his intros. But yeah, it's prdwong going to be heading right towards where his big key is going to be. Yep, and there's the other command of if you want more information on the league, the games that are going to be coming up, the schedules are there.
Yep. If anybody was unaware, this season there are two different leagues. There is the Invitational League and the Open League. This is an Open League match as part of the conference semifinals, but the Invitational League is in a similar state at this point. The big play for the Open League teams, of course, is the top 4 teams in the Open League. So the 4 teams that make the conference finals will be given invites into next year's Invitational League. Or next season's Invitational League, whenever that does happen.
Yep. And it is also the exact same chest, number 21.
So I don't think we're going to get information on those silver arrows.
It is possible. If prdwong decides, I'm going to check all the chests up the gauntlet, it could be in something like Mini Helm or Sword Room that we skipped. If he could also check them, and we can find out that we know they're not in there, meaning that they would either be in Tile Room or the big chest.
Yeah, we are definitely down to only a few checks left.
Yeah, Scarlet. Yeah, we were all debating where we thought those arrows were by the fact that between you and prdwong, you both had basically checked almost everything in the game except GT. So we figured it had to be in there, and then you went into Ganon, and he did say that it was in there.
Nice little fortuitous arrow drops there in Gauntlet 1.
Yeah, some extra arrows always nice.
Yeah, prdwong having a little bit of extra equipment to make this gauntlet climb just a little bit simpler at times, but nothing truly necessary to finish it out.
Well, the butter sword helps. The half magic is extremely convenient, but neither of those is going to make a significant time difference.
Always a pleasure to watch those two rooms on this floor of the of Ganon's tower. That first Cane of Samaria room, not too difficult. That second one does take a little bit of time to learn, but very satisfying.
Yeah, it's getting the fourth one. Getting 3 is very easy on one all at once. Getting the fourth one is actually a lot more difficult than these runners make it look. The question is, does prdwong check these 2 chests?
There we go.
And there they are!
We have
Scarlet did walk right past them. Well, I think that gives us a full inventory.
Yeah, we didn't miss anything. The only thing we're short is 2 hearts, or 2 heart containers, which could be a combination of pieces and heart containers, so...
Yeah, weird. Maybe the other place is in GT.
Oh, and no, we do have all 4 bottles, so yep, those are the only things we were missing.
Yeah, no, we had, yeah. It's everything. This is a very complete seed. I'm going to be interested to see the collection rate, too, on prdwong's side, because it's going to have to be high. Ooh, getting a little bit of a bad hit there from Mega.
Yeah, these patterns were not really cooperative for Scarlet either, so I'm not surprised.
It looked like the Aga clone blew up the blue ball there.
But I think that was about the same number of cycles as Scarlet had, actually.
It was a pretty clean fight. And when you consider the patterns he got, that was a very good fight.
Yeah, both of our runners... Oh, was that one less than Scarlet? Okay. But yeah, just based on how off-cycle Aga 2 got there, you know, both runners really keeping it together to get through that fight.
Okay, going into the Ganon fight. See, with Gold Sword, it's going to be 6 slashes for phase 1 and phase 2 instead of the 12 that Scarlet had.
I love that dash strat always. Nice little use of knowledge to do that.
That's another thing you have to be very careful of, because if you do it slightly incorrectly, you're going to be spending. You're going to knock yourself right into Ganon or into his fire bat speed. Different text box this time because we have the silver arrows.
And nice setup there. And yeah, for that triple silver arrow, that's a great strategy there to get that done. And prdwong will be finishing up here momentarily. Just has to cross that bridge. And prdwong is across with a final time of 1:53.22. Get those GGs in for prdwong.
Did you like that bow placement? I just saw the message. I think I missed that on Scarlet's side. No, I don't think we did. But yes, GG to prdwong and as well again for Scarlet. This was not... It was an interesting seed. I don't know how to describe those locations.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much, prdwong pretty much are full cleared the seed. Only didn't kill Armos and Lanmolis at that point. So besides that, prdwong did everything. So, still finishing under 2 hours for pretty much a full clear is really a brisk pace.
Yeah, it's true. That's with how many checks were made. That is a very good time. It just happened that Scarlet managed to find that one item a little bit faster, which helped with routing and got her through it a little faster.
Yeah, definitely. When we look back at that part of the race, Scarlet having the fire rod was able to make that gamble for Misery Mire, knowing she was one item away from go mode, and thus made the play into Mire to find that Cana Samaria.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we're gonna get prdwong again.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I can check to see.
But just a reminder, there are a lot of games that will be coming up over the next little bit.
And prdwong actually confirming he will not be joining us for an interview tonight either. So really, let's try to get everybody a little bit updated on some of the schedule for the next few days. So I'll start with the Open League, since we are doing an Open League match here. Tomorrow night at 6:10 p.m. will be the third match of this, Game 2, technically the Wisdom Pendant matchup, as Ike here of 16-Bit Nerds will be playing a Tepidino of Fromp's Time. That will be a casual boots race. Then Tuesday at 7:10 p.m. we have a new Hyrule Order with McMonkey versus Boomer Friendly. Dawn Venner will be doing that race. That is game 4. Currently, Boomer Friendly is up 2-1. Thursday at 12:10 p.m. Amish Paradise, Jossum Sauce will be racing Oops Dawer Outnicked Ramon in a game 4 scenario. Amish Paradise currently up 2-1 there. And then we also have on Thursday at 2:10 p.m. OK Game with 2C versus Top Life of Black Lotus. That is also a game 4, and currently the record there is OK Game is also up 2-1. Over on the invitational side, we have currently going on over on SpeedGaming. We have Fendrana Drifters versus Team Kappa. That is Jet versus Gamachu. I don't know how far in that race is or if it's concluded yet. But then tomorrow at 3:10 p.m. we have the 2019 Titans of 2019 Sailor Net versus Error 216 with Thalane. And then also tomorrow at 9:10 p.m. we have Team Kappa 1-Up versus Fendrana Drifters with Megawatt. So a lot of racing still to go in this round, even in the next few days.
Yeah, so I do think there will be even more games added to the schedule over the next little bit, especially with games like this one. This game is going to force a 4th game, which means there will be another one sometime this week.
Yeah, so definitely keep your eyes on those schedules, and watch the races, as I'm sure the commentary will make sure to announce additional races as they jump onto that schedule.
Yep. The links for the schedules themselves were posted in chat, and just don't forget to follow the runners to give them some support. Follow my co-com, follow our trackers, and keep an eye out on the SpeedGaming channels as well as the Randomizer League for any games that will be coming up.
But I believe with that, I think we are all done for tonight. Once again, thank you, everybody. Thank you, of course, to my co-commentator, Zethno. I have been Radical Sniper 99, and until next time, have a great one.